Hi everyone, this is Lana at the Uintah County Heritage Museum. Today I'm going to be talking about some courageous women, more than one. I was going through some of the journals trying to find someone I wanted to talk about, and I pulled one out, and the first thing that appeared, this appeared in the summer of 2015, and it's an article that Michelle Fuller wrote. And it opened up to the page Gold Star Mothers. And the more I thought about it, these women are courageous women. And I know we've been doing just one woman at a time. But another ironic thing is I found out by doing a little bit of research that this Sunday, the last Sunday in September, is Gold Star Mothers Day. I found that really interesting. So I have a flag up here. It's not the Gold Star flag. It's similar. This one happens to be a blue star. Let me turn this around so you can see it. So this happens to be a blue star flag. Sorry, I can't get my phone in the little holder. There we go. This one happens to be a blue star flag, and this one here, if I can get it, is a Gold Star flag, and I'll tell you the history about the flags and where they came about. So in World War I, straighten this up a little bit. This is kind of a fancy flag, and I just realized it was blue instead of gold. But they had blue stars, silver stars, and gold stars. So it started with George von Siebold. He was 23. He volunteered requesting assignment in aviation in World War I. His mother's name was Grace Darling Siebold, or Siebold. I'm going to go with Siebold. And he left for combat duty in France. And he would send correspondence home a lot. He was a very good writer, and they would get mail from him on a regular basis. His mother began doing community service by visiting servicemen in the hospitals and stuff. And then all of a sudden, they stopped receiving mail from George. And since all aviators were under British control and authority at that time, the United States could not help the Siebold family with information about their son. Grace continued her hospital visits with the veterans in the Washington area, clinging to the hope that her son might have been injured and returned to the United States without any identification. While working through her sorrow, she helped ease the pain of many servicemen who returned so war damaged that they were incapable of ever reaching normalcy. October 11th, 1918, George's wife in Chicago received a box marked "Effects of Deceased Officer First Lieutenant George von Siebold." The Siebold's also received confirmation of George's death on November 4th through a family member in Paris. George's body was never identified. Grace, convinced that self-contained grief is self-destructive, devoted her time and efforts not only to working in the hospital, but also supporting other mothers whose sons had lost their lives in military service. She organized the group consistently solely of these mothers, with the purpose of not only comforting each other, but giving loving care to hospitalized veterans confined in government hospitals far from home. The organization was named the Gold Star that families hung in their windows in the honor of the deceased veterans. After years of planning, 25 mothers met in Washington, D.C. on June 4th, 1928, to establish the National Organization of American Gold Star Mothers. They have Blue Star Mothers organizations. So the Blue Stars represented people in service. The Silver Stars represented soldiers wounded in service. And then the Gold Stars were soldiers that lost their lives during service. Vernal had Gold Star Mothers. I'm going to read a little bit. So it was President Woodrow Wilson that felt that the soldiers in 1917 should be recognized as part of the country's support for the military. And that's where the flags come from. So you could have up to 5 stars on a flag hanging in your window. So you hung these flags in your windows. They could be paper, cloth, whatever you had. And it could have blue stars, silver stars, gold stars on them to represent how many members in that household, that family had in the war at the time. So you could see as many as 5 stars on there, and they could all be different colors, or they could be all blue, all silver, or all gold. Those, unfortunately, that were all gold. And there was a woman that lost all 5 of her sons on a ship. All 5 was serving on the same ship, and she lost all 5 of them when that ship was bombed. And I can't imagine losing all 5 of my sons at one time in the war. Part of that, I understand, is where they try not to have family members serving in the same area at the same time. I read that part of that come about because of her losing the 5 brothers all together at the same time. Gold Star Mothers is still going today. There are groups all over the United States and in areas that are under U.S. control. I'll turn back to Michelle's historical spotlight. I've always heard about the Rose Gardens and seeing pictures of the Rose Gardens, but in 1947, to honor the local servicemen and Gold Star mothers, the Vernal Garden Club established a memorial rose garden. The garden was planted between the Uintah County Courthouse and the Utah State Fieldhouse of Natural History. So this was the old courthouse that sat on the corner, which is no longer here. The main purpose of this memorial was to honor World War I and World War II soldiers that served from Uintah County and who lost their lives in action. The plot of ground contained over 600 roses within its 9 plots. A featured plot was made to honor the 42 Gold Star mothers of the county at that time. The Peace Rose was chosen and planted in this honorable plot. The American Legion, Wetbeck Post number 11, later placed a plaque bearing the names of those who died in the war from Uintah County. Later on in 1949, the Marine Mothers organization, which is still in effect today, also contributed to the memorial garden to make it complete. In honor of the 6 Marines, they placed a plaque with the names of the 6 men who lost their lives, along with 2 beautiful arbors and 2 seats or benches there. The Rose Garden no longer stands today. It became very difficult to maintain, and then the Vernal Garden Club and the Marine Mothers will not be forgotten, just as the honorable soldiers that gave their lives and freedoms for this great country. The Gold Stars, they said during like World War I and World War II that almost every household had had a flag hanging in their window or on their door. That meant that almost every household had a soldier serving. I know in World War I, Uintah County sent a lot of soldiers. The first draft that they had, I think it was around 800 men left Uintah County to serve in World War I during the first draft in World War I. So this Sunday, as you're thinking and pondering, maybe you know a Gold Star mother or grandmother, or if you do and you might want to share information, the History Center or here at the museum, we would love to hear about your Gold Star mothers or grandmothers, the sad story that they have of sacrificing their children's giving their lives to our country for the freedoms that we have today. So that is my story on Gold Star Mothers. She is not a local person, but we do have Gold Star Mothers. Another notable thing, they did wear uniforms in the club. Their uniforms were white skirts, white shirts, and a white blazer with a gold star embroidered on the lapel and gold piping on the sleeve cuffs and collars. They wore white shoes and a white cap similar to the women's service hat with gold piping. They wore these uniforms for parades, meetings, social functions, anything connected with military functions, memorial days, etc. Also, Aletta Sullivan, which was the 5 Sullivan brothers I was telling you about that was killed on the ship, they done a postage stamp. I'll show you right here. Isn't that a beautiful stamp? Can you see it? Okay. That was issued in 1948, and they gave her the first sheet of uncut stamps in memory of her 5 sons. I thought that was really nice. Also, the Gold Star Moms organizations today are still around. I find it fascinating that the Mrs. Ashton that I was telling you about with, oh, now I can't remember. They always held a Gold Star Mothers luncheon and would honor the Gold Stars in the county with that luncheon. With the American Legion. The American Legion always held a luncheon every year for Gold Star Mothers. And it talks about in the Vernal Express what they had and the decorations that they had and who attended and stuff. So still today, Gold Star Moms. So I hope you remember Gold Star Moms, or even Blue Star or Silver Star Moms and families, the whole families. And I will see you again next week. And thank you.